The reason you keep rewatching the same anime is because your nervous system is using it as a regulation tool, and you've unconsciously curated a collection that serves multiple psychological needs depending on what your brain requires that day. You need gentle, predictable magic and cozy domestic scenes because harsh realities are overstimulating your nervous system, conflict makes you want to hide under that weighted blanket you finally splurged on, and you want problems solved through kindness because everything else requires far too much emotional energy. You need constant, potentially life-ending stakes because your biggest daily decision is if you should get gas before or after work. You're living vicariously through people with clear supernatural enemies instead of vague existential dread, and you crave cursed energy battles because your own energy feels cursed with mundane boredom. You need apocalypse-type chaos because your life feels numbingly predictable, but at the same time you want a controlled outlet for anxiety through fictional catastrophe because it helps regulate your overstimulated nervous system, so you're basically using giant monsters as exposure therapy for your own overwhelming reality. You crave that structured power progression and clear moral framework when you're understimulated by life's lack of obvious achievements, while the school setting provides social regulation without real-world pressure when you're overstimulated by actual human interaction. Also, frappy! You need the slow passage of immortal time and quiet contemplation because everything in your life feels urgently demanding. You're also processing your own relationship with mortality through an elf who has centuries to figure it out, and watching someone take 500 years to understand friendship makes your own emotional timeline feel reasonable. You need mystery solving and political intrigue because your brain craves puzzles more complex than deciding what shoes you're going to wear every day. You're living vicariously through someone whose oddly specialized knowledge actually matters, and you're drawn to a protagonist obsessed with poison because your own interests feel too socially acceptable and boring. You need stories about learning to process emotions because yours feel too intense and unmanageable. The beautiful, slow-paced letter writing serves as the therapy you can't afford, and you're drawn to post-conflict emotional recovery because your own life feels like you're healing from something you can't quite name. The endless episodes provide either constant stimulation when you're bored or mindless background comfort when you're overwhelmed. You need either the excitement of adventure or the security of characters you know by heart, and you're basically using a pirate crew as an emotional regulation playlist that never runs out of content. And if you're thinking, but Auntie Tanya, I watch different anime for different reasons, all that means is you've discovered that your nervous system is actually more sophisticated than a simple on-off switch, and your subconscious media curation skills are probably better than most people's conscious life choices. We're all very happy for you and not jealous at all.